Good morning, YouTube. Happy Tuesday. You know, as I watch agents that were hardcore field agents, scramble to learn telesales, it really reminds me of when I started on the telephone, which was 10 years ago this year. And I get flooded with emotions because I remember just how much I struggled at the beginning. I was a highly successful door knocker, and then I transitioned to the telesales, and it wasn't something that I was looking to do. But what happened for me in 2010 is that I became an independent agency myself, and I wanted to provide my agents their own leads. I wanted to provide them with direct mail at a fixed rate. And I realized back then that in order to do the direct mail, you had to have very, very deep pockets, which I didn't. Making $80,000 to $100,000 a month is nothing when you're taking massive losses on direct mail to provide your agents with a fixed price. And I remember the day that I had to make the toughest decision of my life. I either learned the telesales or I was going to lose my agency and everything else that I'd worked for was going to be gone if I didn't do anything about it. That was a crisis for me 10 years ago. It was hard on my ego. It was embarrassing to see my agents leave because I wasn't able to provide the support they needed. But instead of me quitting, instead of me going back to where I came from, I buckled down and I made a commitment to myself that rain or shine, I was going to learn the telephone sales. And I remember when I first started, I was paying $400 to $500 a day in leads just to make one sale. And that was hard on me mentally because I could take those $500 and use them in the field and I would make 4 or 5 sales. So the mental warfare that I was dealing with was very difficult, and it stopped me from learning or applying the things that I was being taught. And as I watch the marketplace today, as I watch agents, receive advice of just being lead junkies, others just telling them that follow-up is not important, others saying that it has nothing to do with skill, and it's all lead driven, it bothers me. Because I know a lot of agents that are receiving this information don't even have a residual income. They don't have anything. In fact, when I walked from Lincoln Heritage to Senior Life, I was making $80,000 to $100,000 just in residuals monthly. So I had enough resources from my residuals that I can invest back into my leads and make up for my lack of skill and ability at the time. A crisis. And right now, guys, a lot of our field agents are in that crisis. They're investing their monies into leads and they're not having the results they're expecting, and they're getting demoralized. So my advice to you, and I'm speaking from experience, is stick with it. Find somebody that's doing it successfully, that's not a lead junkie, that knows how to sell, that knows how to close. And I've said this before. There's a small group of men and women that prior to COVID-19 have had success selling final expense over the phones. I'm not talking about doing P&C. I'm not talking about nothing else. I'm talking about final expense. And I encourage you to reach out to those people, shadow them, have them show you what they're doing. One of the things that we do is we have a live webinar. And before we get into any carrier contracting, I invite people. They get to see firsthand exactly what it is that we do. And then if they like what they see, they can follow what they see, duplicate it. Then we can talk about putting a deal together. But that's one of the main reasons that I do that for agents, because telesales is not as easy as people think it is. You know, when you're face to face with a client, you have a visual. They're reading your body language. Over the phones, you're losing that. And all the logical rebuttals that you have that you use in the field don't work over the phones. In fact, they sound confrontational. And that can affect your cost per acquisition. And I learned the hard way. Like I said, when I first started, I was investing $400 to $500 a day just to make one sale. Today, I'm investing $150 to make one sale. A huge difference. And what has been the key? Skills. In 10 years, I learned how to sell over the phone. In these 10 years, I learned how to close. In these 10 years, I did so much note taking that it's ridiculous, because I was so committed to figuring it out. And I'm happy to say we did do that. You know, it took me 3 years to wrap my mind around telesales. But I'll tell you what, when I finally did, I made an announcement to all my field agents that were still with me at the time. And I told them, you guys got 1 year to get the telephones. And after this year, I am cutting off the fixed direct mail price. The sad part about it was I had about 250, 300 agents at the time. And after that year, there was only 25 agents that were able to stick through the phones and stay with it. And the rest, I let them go. They moved on. And that was the best thing for me to do, because I could not support them anymore. So as you're sitting here on a Tuesday, and maybe these words resonate with you, maybe the first month in telesales, you know, you invested $3,000 or $4,000 and you didn't even make your money back, and it's been a nightmare, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to set you up with some free live transfers to get you back on your feet. Not a problem. If you have an agency this week, I'm giving out 100 live transfers to an agency group. You got to have at least 10, 15 agents, okay? And we're going to provide you with some freebies. Plus, I'm going to provide our free script and some techniques that will help you keep the client engaged so you can get to the closing questions. Because one of the biggest problems agents are having has nothing to do with lead quality, because leads are leads, is that when you get them on the phone and they present to you with small objections, like call me back, how long are you going to take, because I got to go do this or that. They're asking you questions that derail your presentation. A lot of agents don't know how to overcome these. And if you can't get to your closing questions, then you're really not doing nothing. You're just peddling and not making money. We have paid a price to, once again, realize these patterns with clients. We've heard every single objection you can think of in these 10 years. Like I mentioned, I have documented every single presentation I made. I have legal paper with all my notes. I have my digital paperwork with all my notes, my CRM. And the reason I did this, once again, was to identify a pattern of why I wasn't closing. And I'm happy I did that, because I was able to figure out the best possible way to close sales, to have a presentation that doesn't take an hour and a half. Because if you're spending an hour and a half, 2 hours on the phone with a client, I mean, that's cutting into your overall profitability. Now, I understand that you want to have good retention. We have great retention. But we've figured that a presentation of 20 to 30 minutes to get to the close, and then doing the diamond interview, that's 1 hour, is great. It's not going to hurt your NTOs. It's not going to hurt your retention. So if you'd like to see my documentation, call me. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. I try to post a lot of it online, but unfortunately I do get a lot of haters that hate it when I post my residuals, hate it when I post my documentation. But give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you in a private setting what our retention is, what our AP is, so you can see that what we've done in these 10 years, which started as a crisis, turned into a blessing. And here we are today, helping others. Today I'm working with agents. We're rolling out our playbook to approximately 50,000 agents within 2 agencies that we're affiliated with to help them sell and close. So this is not a recruiting video. This is a message to help you, and let me help you with some free transfers and training. So guys, let's stay positive. We will overcome this. I don't know if, America and the world's going to be the same. I do believe the field business is going to be hurt. And simply why I say this is because we're dealing with seniors. And even as the economy opens up, I know for a fact I don't want no one coming over to my mom's house because of the risk of her getting that infection. And I know a lot of people that have elderly parents, that have friends that are seniors, feel the same way. Imagine you show up at a door with a mask and a hand sanitizer. If it's me, I want to see if you've been tested for COVID-19. I want to see proof. And if you haven't, chances are you're not stepping in my house or my family's house. And I really believe that's going to be a major objection for field agents as they get back into the day-to-day of doing business. But once again, let's stay focused. Like my friend Bill Levinson said today, it's a perfect time for us to rethink, regroup, reset, and restart. It's perfect. Or you can quit, go back to what you were doing before you got into the insurance business, or do something completely different, because that's also what's going to happen. Don't quit. Stay with it. The insurance industry is one of the greatest industries in the world. It's recession proof. And think about it. In this moment, we have still been able to work while others have been forced in unemployment. Others have been forced to close down their businesses. We are still doing the essentials of helping folks with their claims as well as their insurance coverage. So guys, once again, let's stay positive and see you guys at the top. Peace.